ought to be in that field. We are the same, literally. We are just the same. So we encourage you guys participate in the program, join societies. This you get to know its profoundness even having left school. Looking at you, well, let's put it simply, from retrospect, you get to understand. Or Steve Jobs would say it like you get to connect the dots when you look backwards. Yeah. So that's opportunities. Take very close look at opportunities. Fun fact, something happened while I was in school. Like there was one particular place because while in 100 level, 200 level, yes, I utilized the library. There are some of us who have never even gone to the library before to even study. Yeah, let's not talk about that. We've never explored the library to go and study. So I usually study in the school library. I studied in Joe Harris. I also studied in engineering library, not on the 300 level, which I started studying at home and school. There was this particular spot, I don't know, in University of Benin, back gate, there's a place called, the place is just opposite the back gate. There's one cool place on the surrounding, will I say engulfed with tree, this beautiful tree. That place is a serene environment for you to learn. Like for you to, I learned they do pay to just go there and learn. I believe majority of you are even surprised to hear that there's a place like that, that you can go there and just go and relax while studying. Yeah, it's very cool. Why did I say this? Is because you can have a very potentially important place within you and don't never notice about it. You will never even notice opportunity when you don't find them. I was so surprised, like this place existed and I stayed in school for over 5 years. I never knew that. So that's also an important aspect of you trying to I think is that you having your relationship, your be so conscious about scholarship, also conscious about research. Thankfully, the also an incredible leader still leading the initiative also is a good researcher. You guys have the privilege of joining, and him leading, he can also guide you guys. I can't emphasize the importance of this so much. Don't take it lightly. See, don't take research lightly. Don't take it like it's going to boost your CV. Let's not even talk about how important your research could be. I'm just talking about the art of you being able to do your research. Is very, very important. Don't take this lightly. Even as some of us will be doing our, how they call it, in engineering we call it Ella, we'll be doing our lab work, and yes, haven't finished, we just go and submit without even taking conscious effort of going through, let's just go. Some of them even, we just go online, copy the one that has already had templates. We just, okay, litter our booklet with this answer and yeah, dump it in the office of the coordinator or whoever supervised us. But that's not all to be. We ought to really understand what was there. Even if you don't even understand at the very least, which I stand to say is wrong, you should also have, will I say, a repository or a folder, or maybe like a GitHub, let me put it, a GitHub page where you can throw in those stuff, those little experiments you did, because you can showcase that later on. I did all this. Some of us don't even have it. Some of us don't have this. So what I'm trying to say is that explore these opportunities. Do your little research. You guys can come together and just give yourself a topic and like, okay, let's just explore this. Let's really dive down into this. And yeah, I think Marvelous, also a leader or a leader and founder, we also guide you through. Should you have any issues with that, it's going to guide you. So the second, we'll talk about awareness of opportunities. Let me just run cognizant of time. Management. Father help me. Management. It is very important. Management, I'm going to quickly talk about three key things. Remember, we are still talking about skills. Three key things. And yes, under management, I'm talking about time, resources, and tax. Your time. Whew. Some of us say we don't have much time. That's lie. That's a big lie. We really don't know how to manage our time. Yes, that we just start our conversation from there. There's enormous amount of time. We really don't know how to utilize our time. I had this experience why in 200 level, there was when my first semester result came out, it was not as a result of you having not understood. Yes, my friends, my colleagues, they really know, yeah, I do very well. And Of course, the result was not pleasing to me. More importantly, that's because I don't do my practice. I detest it, which I'm also exploring. I'm an advocate of that, being exceptionally good, utilizing the right parts, prepare very well, and go and write your exam. That's what I it built competence so much. Even having left school, things I do, I want to do, or I'm doing. Believe me, I wouldn't have been able to even kickstarted it if I had not. Oops, if I had not understood how to learn or develop that competence. So very swiftly, I will just double click on that scenario. So what I did, because of there's a difference between you understanding and you preparing for exam. I discovered that yes, I understood, but I was not able to manage my time to prepare for the exam. So what I did, the next semester, there was a particular course I just okay, this is a German course. How do I recall all this? Be that I don't have this conversation in hall. What I did as at leisure, even while I'm playing or while I'm going back home, I'm just gazing through my phone, looking through the questions and trying to answer those questions offhand. So I did that consciously and did that consciously and did that consciously. Those of my courses that demanded me just okay reading a lot and all those stuff. So while I'm just maybe playing, not having that I'll not call it a study time, but just time I could just be using to play. I utilize that time to gaze through those stuff. And believe me, it was profoundly helpful because I was able to manage my time. The exam that was meant for 2 hours, the highest I utilized was 30 minutes. So because I was privileged to what manage my time. So what the conversation we should be having is time management, not like we don't have time. We really have time. We really don't know how to manage our time. So in the supposed slide I ought to give, you need to check morning. How do you use your morning? How do you use your afternoon? How do you use your evening? For example, some of us go to classes. We may just say, okay, we have a class, and as a result of the lecturer maybe not coming or having an issue and we don't have the class. We just go and utilize our day, spend our time, we come back home without studying. We don't have an alternative plan. So it is important that in the morning before you leave, have a plan. Should the lecturer not come to class, this is what I'm going to do. It's very important so that you can also utilize that time that the lecturer is not in class to also study and prepare for whatever comes. You get so similar in the noon or in the evening, you also do revision. Form the habit of going through what you've been taught in school or what just form the habit of glancing through it, even though you don't run through it a lot, just have a glance through it. Then, yeah, at night you can choose to just have a few studies or you sleep while you refresh. So I believe when you are able to manage your time this way as a student, you are going to do exceptionally well. You are going to develop that skill. So the next time we're talking about resource management is very important. Your friends, your books around. Don't try to be that, okay, I just want to be this almighty in terms of a scholar. I think Miracle double clicked on the fact that she wouldn't have had a good result if she had not had good friends. That's very true. Friends are incredibly helpful. You need to surround your circle with this kind of friends. Friends that will prepare you. For example, you are not good at math. You should have someone who is good at math. You are not good at understanding complex subjects. Yeah, you should have someone who will easily explain those concepts to you so that you understand it. So resources, don't say that because I don't understand something I can't pass. That's wrong. That's the wrong mindset. You should have someone who understands this. That's resource management, managing your resources. There are other things we talked about. So because of time, I'm cognizant of time, so I'm going to be running through it. But one thing you should take note from this is management is that you have your time management. Go and learn about it. There's enormous amount of time. We don't have the time to also elaborate on that. So there's resource management, your friends, the books, your even artificial intelligence. You even have that. I wonder why people are still battling with a lot of things. You have AI. You need to learn how to use it. I don't say learn how AI can replace your thinking. No, learn how to utilize it for effective understanding. Sometimes, okay, if you haven't studied, just try to ask ChatGPT from first principle thinking, explain this concept for me. So it's going to break it down, even though you don't know prompt engineering. Just do that from first principle thinking, explain this concept for me. So it's going to help you very well. That's resource management. The last one is tax management. Yeah, this is so important. Important, very important. Tax management. Some of us we don't get the result we want because we are not focused. That's just it. Nothing. We are not focused. One thing I've got to realize is focus. Time will fail me to elaborate on this, but this is one thing you should know. If you want to get something done, say no to other things. It is hard. But if you just want to get anything done, just say no to every other things. That's how to just be extremely good at handling tasks. Define what you want, have a priority. For example, let's say you doing maybe your deep work in the morning, you doing your plans, just have like 3 days, like 3 plans, the list. These are the 3 things I'm going to engulf myself in. And having understood that these are the things I'm going to do, every other thing is a no. It's not as though those things are not calling me, but I'm just going to say a no to those things until these things are done. I'm not going to. And then when you are channeling your emphasis on those 3 tasks, if you can just extract one and focus maniacally on that one until you get it done. Don't don't focus on any other thing. Yes, you may plateau while trying to make this work. It's okay. That's you just being aware of your weakness. Then you just work towards it. What I'm saying simply is that yes, don't get so disturbed because of you try to understand, you try to focus and you see yourself being distracted. Some of us even our phones, always on WhatsApp, always on this. You are not getting it done. You just need to focus on one thing until you get it done. And when you discover your weaknesses, appreciate it. Just appreciate it and work on it. And sooner or later, you are going to be better. So that's tax management. Then lastly, I will end with this mentorship. It's very important. I can't overemphasize mentorship. Believe me, experience is very expensive. Don't use your life for it. Yeah, there are times that you will experience some certain things, but if and when you are privileged to have someone who has already embodied the experience, please and please don't utilize your life for it. It is better to just extract the understanding and the wisdom from that person and just use it as a springboard and just move. That's just it. I let me put it from a younger perspective. There was an experience I had in school, and yeah, it was a fun one. I've never recorded F in my results before. That was the first time. I choose not to write the exam because I was thinking I'm going to have a B in the course. That's a very funny one, right? So I discarded the course even when my mentor told me that yeah, you need to go and participate in that exam. Haven't gotten there, I still left the hall. Few minutes into the exam, people were already okay, president, what did happen? What did happen? Like it's unlike you. When I go to the exam, just maybe pray, I just focus on my own until I'm done. I don't leave there. I just leave. So one one thing that while I saw the crowd, they were just like emphasizing on Emmanuel. I never wanted to draw a scene to myself, so I just left the hall. I told him, okay, I'm done. Just I didn't even write myself in the attendance. I don't write my name in the attendance because I never wanted to see an F like in my results. It's not possible. It's better I have an absent. They just go back and write a course. I never had a carryover, believe me. So and the reason was because I never wanted a B. How silly it was. My lecturer met me and like, Emmanuel is not leaving the hall. He said, I know Emmanuel knows the answer to all the questions. And I'll tell you the reason why I said that. He said, Emmanuel knows the answer to all the questions. I'm not going to allow Emmanuel leave the hall. That was funny. That was funny because I had taken a class that was on Sunday before the exam on Sunday, and we had no light. There was a particular part I ought to revise because I was not privileged to just run through it. So I don't want to guess. That was what made me sure I'm going to have a B in this course. And I never wanted a B in that particular course or in that course or in that section. So the lecturer never understood that. Yes, I am I smart? Of course I am. Yes, can I answer the question? Yes, very true. But what he was trying to propose was not the fact. That was not it. So I lingered there. To cut the long story short, that was how I had a carryover. So similarly, because I'm someone who mentor by God's grace, I mentor scholar and others. So a leader reached out to me and saying the same thing, like, sir, I'm not fully prepared on this course. I think I will not be privileged to just, I don't want to write the course. I like, are you normal? So I told him like, you dare not just go to that hall. I'm not telling you to leave, but you must go into the like go there and sit and write your exam. So he listened, he went there and he wrote his exam. Thankfully, when he called, he was like, sir, yes, I was able to answer the questions. They were cheap. Now the point is this: you will always pay with your, will I say, with your life, something you've not, will I say, something you are ignorance of. If that guy had not had me, myself, he would have had automatic carryover. And believe me, carryover is expensive. I never knew. You could go and have clash with other courses you are writing. It's not necessary, it's not even needed. You are not supposed to do that. You get? So the only way he was privileged to do that is what? Discarding it through mentorship. If he had not had me, he would have replicated that same risk and that same mistake. Yeah. So mentorship gives you direction. It makes you shrink that will I say shrink the volume of experience you are supposed to embody with your own life, just making you extract the wisdom from others. I'm privileged to be in, will I say, to be in some certain place, having not been there yet, but I have people already there. I have people in touch already there. As a fun fact, yes, that's by the way, I'll do that later. So what I'm trying to say is that don't utilize your life as a yardstick, will I say, as the embodiment to experience everything you need to go through. It is very, very expensive. You need a mentor that will make you not only, will I say, explore the right path or your growth trajectory. Okay, okay, okay. So that's it basically. That's it basically. And yeah. So I'm out of time. I'm sorry. So you can take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Emmanuel. Please let's keep the reactions coming. Oh, thank you so much. This was very insightful. I learned so much, especially when it came to the part of you choosing not to settle for less, especially in your grades. I was really like so happy when I heard that because I think it did help me when I saw my 200 level results and I was seeing a lot of A's and I said yes I could actually do this and actually have all A's. So right about now we'll be having a question and answer time. So please keep the reaction coming and if you have a question, if you don't want to talk, you can as well use the chat box, but if you want to talk, please raise up your hands and ask questions. Our speakers are still with us. Please let's ask questions. Let's fill this call with questions, and continuously we'll give answers back to back. Let's go on. Who is going to be the first person asking the question? Okay, in case we don't have questions on the call, we can actually go to the chat box and ask questions. Well, I have a question for Sir Emmanuel. So, sir, you said you did not want to have an F in any of your results. But then I still want to ask a very tricky question. How were you able to navigate being a president of a department and also getting good grades, like good grades even in your finals? How were you able to do that?
Okay. Well, that's that's a nice question. That's a nice question. So, will I say, expanding on that, the answer to the question would take enormous amount of time, right? Okay, I will start with this. In that particular, to answer your question, in that particular section, I I was prepared by a mentor who was also a lecturer, requesting that, yeah, I can actually do it. Like I just needed a 5.0 that semester, but something happened. That's why it's deep, and I cannot elaborate due to the fact that I was a leader who stood for integrity. Not just a leader, I also was privileged to be, yeah, one of the best in the class. I was gifted with, will I say, understanding. I barely struggle. Yeah, I don't struggle understanding things. I just understand it very easily. To double click on that leadership, I went for the position of leadership or as the president, not to just occupy position. I went to utilize it as a platform to extensively do what I had already been doing. Before I went into leadership, I had already, well, let's say, formed Team A already. Team A emanated from the need where I saw precisely students who were, let me say, students who were kind of religious but having poor grades. What that means is there are people who are so religiously concerned about, yeah, their faith, and as a consequence of that, they tend not to explore, well, I say, the privilege of malpractice and end up having bad grades. So yeah, even as it is a result of not having this understanding amongst everybody, I found that being bothersome, particularly for those guys who were having, yeah, showing the faith, but we are not having the grades to show for it. So that was how Team A started. Playfully, I started the first semester in 300 level. That was the first time we did our theoretical courses. It was not friendly for us. It was really not friendly. So I had to, the courses that were so tough. Yes, I extensively spent my time. Some of which I spent over 6 hours standing elaborating on the concept, demystifying those things for them to understand. So what I'm trying to say is that I have already had that as a capacity before I went into leadership. It was not something that I was trying to pair with leadership. And that's why it is important. Some leaders, I see them today, they try to go into leadership and find what they want to do. That's wrong. They are not even aware of the problem. They are not different for what is happening in our country today. If you are going to leadership, you should understand what the students are going through before you go there. When I got into leadership, I love my HOD who is currently the HOD, sorry, the dean in Professor, who is currently the dean in the Faculty of Engineering. So there was a time I went to meet him. Yes, it's not kind of conversant with leaders to, will I say, be the one to share internship with you. There's this one experience we had. Like, okay, sir, I really think we need to, will I say, write to a particular company so that we can just dish out this, will I say, slot of internship for this our fellow colleagues and leaders. So my HOD was like, he's not really our own. No, I love him. He's not really okay, okay. All right, okay. Just to cut the long story short, I went there to not as a leader to I went there just to extend my capacity. I already had that as an attribute or a characteristic of myself before going to leadership. So it's just simply pairing what does the student need? They need access to opportunities. Yes, just to create it. They need access to, we like to say, to be heard by the authority when they have a need and all those stuff. Yes, it's just for you to be the one privileged to also share those things. Yeah, so that was why I went there. I was already having that as an attribute heading for that leadership.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that answer. We have lots of questions in our chat box. And okay, let me start with Annette. I think this question can be answered by either Sir Emmanuel or Ma'am Miracle. And she said, thank you so much, my dear speakers. You said something about passion. What if you don't have a passion per se for academics, but for other things like business and other things? Like, but initially you had the passion, but along the line it was lost. What do you advise I do? So, now,
Okay.
Miracle, I
Let
think
me
you
let
should
me
answer
take that
this
question.
question.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Just
yes.
react. Okay. All right. Um. First of all, I have come to know, even though I know I'm in the academic line, not everyone is going to be in the academic line. Like no one is going to be a lecturer. No one is going to the career will not be streamlined to academics. Basically, you understand? They may never use their degree. What I mean by that, like you may just finish the chemistry with engineering, and you finish school and you just find a passion. Maybe you sewing, maybe it's in the entertainment side, or in sports, which is good. But I've come to know is that at least the Bible tells us whatever you find yourself doing, do it well. Currently, you are in school, right? Even though while in school you found a passion outside academics, right? How about you just ensure you finish well? Because there can be a focus, even in fact, it's even a trend that you can see some persons doing great things and they didn't go to school. And because you will rethink your decision because that may even be the reason why you've lost that focus, because you said in the beginning you had it, but later on you lost it at some point. That love can be rekindled. You understand? It can be rekindled when you find the right people in that in the group. Then 7 of us. Hello. Okay. All right. And I mentioned that we were 10 in the study group, then 7 got the first class. Is the remaining 7, would they be in academic? Would they? Obviously not. Most of them that are in business. So that one, I think my friend is in business. That one is into hairstyling. She's just going. They're doing different aspects. But in this aspect of life, or in this level I am right now, I must ensure I become the best version of myself. You understand? And if we go with that mindset, let me do well. Yes, I may not later use it, but let me at least graduate well. Let me ace my grades. I may not have to have a first class, but 2-1, a strong 2-1 is good. You understand? And it is very possible while still doing other things, right? So I think you should just be encouraged and be motivated for the now, even though you don't see later on. Thank you. Joy. All right, over to you, Joy.
Okay, thank you so much, ma. That was a very beautiful answer because at the end, the major thing is to finish well. Thank you so much. So we have another question again from the chat box, and let me say that question. Okay, she directed this question to Sir Emmanuel. Sir Emmanuel, what motivates you even when you don't feel motivated? Because some days procrastinating just seemed ideal. How were you able to still be disciplined, the consistency and the will to even, okay, to maybe to even do what you don't want to do? That's the question. So how were you able to be disciplined, consistent, and even willing, even when you were very tired, so tired that you even wanted to stop? Thank you, sir.
Oh, that's that's hard to unpack. From my own experience, very kind of all right. Because I from the standpoint of leadership, I try not to, let's say, use my own as a template. I'm very careful because each and every one of us is different. We are given different gifts. While in school, I was privileged to have let's say, some set of incredibly amazing guys, yeah, who were so close. Aside the fact I dished out understanding to my fellow colleagues, everyone, I noticed something from retrospect, not even while I was in school. When I rounded off, I realized that even while I was not engaged studying, I have not opened that course. I would just tell my friends to, okay, just be studying. Anything you don't understand, you'll let me know. It's not a kind of arrogance, but it's just that kind of, okay, whatever you don't understand, just come and tell me. I'll just run you through it. What I realize is that while I may not be disciplined, listen very carefully. I'm not saying I'm not disciplined. Why I may not be disciplined in terms of trying to force myself because of the environment I am, as a consequence of, yes, me, I can run through some kind of tough, rigorous concept within a very short time. I understand that concept. But the friends around me also propelled me to just run through some things I wouldn't have even done. That's what I'm trying to say from retrospect. However, let me discard that they were never there. That doesn't mean I don't read without their presence, but I'm just trying to extract everything. I'm being very careful not to stereotype my own experience as every other one wrote part, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. So how do you get things done, even from learning and for improvement? Currently, I when 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 I'm not engaged doing maybe in work and all those stuff like that, you two times out of four you find me studying. Why I do that, I'm not studying because I love doing it. I just study it as a result that what I want to do is predicated upon that action I need to take. I want you to also understand that there's difference between action and results. There's difference between actions and your emotion. You may not be feeling it, but if you act it, you still get the same result. You may not be feeling to read. When you act reading, when you act the reading or you be in the environment, you still get the same result. So it's not necessarily your emotion. It's just for you to now, will I say, wire your brain to now think that, okay, I think it is needed for me to study. I think it is demanded of me to study. And as a result of that, I need to do that. And your environment still matters. Your friend, similar to what Miracle said, your friends really matters a whole lot. If I'm to bring myself out of the picture, I believe if all my friends were here, they were like, okay, believe me, if Emmanuel were not there, I think I wouldn't have done this. If Emmanuel were not there, I wouldn't have done this. So similar to that, you don't need to be, will I say in quotes, the Emmanuel or the miracle if you are that good. You just need to be around those persons that are willing also to get the same results, and they will also assist you in getting it. It's okay not to feel motivated. Sometimes we are not, but we just need to get things done and we just do it regardless. So that, I think that's what I have to say on that light.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I have another question here. Says for someone who is super slow in learning and retaining information, what do you suggest the person do? Okay, my miracle, let's hear from you.
Okay, can you read the question out again, please?
Okay, the question says for someone who is super slow in learning and retaining
Yes.
information, what do you suggest the person do?
Okay. I mentioned that I was a late bloomer. You know, there's some persons that you just meet from primary school. They're always acing the grade. I think Emmanuel was such person. Like from the start. But I can prove me wrong
Eh,
though.
that's yes, I was amongst them, but not entirely until I got to, let's say, while preparing for university, I got to
Like
be that, yeah, just to,
you just
yeah.
know. We have a balance here. We have the ones who was on the ninth or tenth, right? But see where we are now. So it start with your mind. You mentioned you were slow in learning, right? Or in slow in retaining stuff. Um, we need to first of all understand how you process things. I think which you do, you're self-aware. You know, okay, sometimes if I read, I don't easily grab things immediately. Some persons, just like as you are saying it in class, people like me, I notice that I may struggle to sit down and read for hours, but now I think I'm getting better at it. But while in school, I struggle to sit to read. But if I'm in class, anything that you say, I grab it in me. So I think you just need to understand where you are. If reading alone can take hours for you, just hold on to that. But if someone is explaining to you and is saying it, you're like you're easily retaining it, then you know that okay, you need to be present in class. Because sometimes people saying that I don't like going to class. If I read on my own, I will understand. You know that if you read on your own, you will sleep. Ma, go to class. You understand? And also the balance in which maybe lecturers will not come, still go to class even if they don't come. Because you know where you stand. You know that if you struggle to read on your own, but you like reading where there are people, where they're explaining stuff, it goes back to your circle. And when I mentor people and talk about this circle, I there may not be an existing circle yet. You can create such circle. You understand? And you don't have to be the smartest person in the room to create such circle. I was privileged. A friend of mine was one that created our circle, but then I noticed that she tried to retain it, but then another person can try to retain it. You can start it in terms of you meet the smartest people, like maybe in the class now. You see some persons that they're always active in class, like just get it. You understand? They're like proactive. They ask questions. Lecturers just like them. They sit in front. Now you need help, oh. So you have to go and reach out to them. Okay, how do you read? How do you study? I would love for you to explain some things. I don't mind. Maybe after class we could just sit and explain. When I was in school, I had people come to a miracle and this 319 we just finished this course. And then notice that you understood it because when you were answering and replying, you understood it. Can you just quickly explain this topic? Go and ask, please. So, but then basis, okay, now I'm reading during this particular time, or I have to come to night class, or let's even explain it now. Then immediately the person explains it to you and you grab it. You understand? So you need to constantly keep that relationship. From there, maybe you now have a friend that also maybe in the same level as you are, or also but also trying. So you link them up. No, let's even have a circle. Let maybe a particular time of the day. Maybe we meet in the library, or we meet up in night class, or you come to my house, we read together, or we maybe go to basement. You need to start instigating and starting up that circle, because you know where you stand. If you read on your own, you will sleep. You will not understand it immediately. So try and create that circle where you can teach, they can teach, and be parenting. Because I'm sure by the time you do that one, I'm sure the knowledge will start coming to you little by little. All right, thank you so much, Joy, for that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Please let's keep emojis coming. Thank you so much, precious. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody. Please let's keep our emojis coming now. If you are still in this call, please let's keep the reactions coming. So we shall see you, victory. Thank you, Chinyeri. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Rejoice. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I see your reaction. Thank you, Confidence. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Victory. Thank you so much, everybody. So, thank you so much, Faye Sayo. Thank you so much. So, I want to appreciate everybody for joining today's call. Even as we bring today's session to a close, sorry, even as we give, even as we bring today's session to a close, I'd like to appreciate our speakers, Mamiracle and Sir Emmanuel. Thank you for taking your time to share so much value. I'm very sure so many of us got insight and practical knowledge from everything they've told us today. Thank you in our growth. Thank you so much. We are so grateful. Oh, Mamiracle, you're raising up your hand. Please go on.
I think there's a question and in the chat box. I don't know. Marvelous asked the question. Once we answered, or has he answered yet? Oh, you didn't say.
Okay, sorry, that was an oversight. But then,
Yeah. Okay.
answer the question, please, because we are out of time. We'll answer the question on the call of tomorrow when we
All
are
right.
going to the
All
question and
right.
answer segment. Yes, tomorrow. Thank you very much. So, to everyone, thank you so much for joining today's call. We thank you for sparing your time, for your active participation, your questions, and your willingness to learn. We hope that even as you, oh, I hope that even as you're leaving, I hope that you join us tomorrow. It's a 3 days webinar, and this is just the beginning. Our third and fourth speaker are actually cooking something for us, and I hope that you come and join us. Please let's do it to share the link. We'll send Google Meet link. We're having issues with the features from Google Meet. We just have to do 1 hour call, and that is it. So we're trying to stabilize ourselves. But at the same time, we thank everyone so much for joining us. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to invite your friends, your classmates, your colleagues. Share it on your social media handle, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and on your WhatsApp status. Thank you very much, everyone, and I pray you have a good night. God bless you. Bye.